Right, hello everybody. Welcome to it's pretty much the second edition, really, because when we had Boatsy and Paul on for the introduction to their new book, Angels with Dirty Faces, was pretty much the first edition of this, wasn't it, Dan? But welcome
Yep.
to Under the Floodlight, as Dan's put it.
Cutbacks. The energy crisis, Gal, didn't you know?
The energy crisis, and he could only fit one floodlight on the thing, and thought under the floodlight, But welcome on anyway. So under the floodlight. So a little bit different to our football live show. This is where we'll bring people on and actually focus purely on the people that we bring on to sort of interview, but in an open sort of discussion manner, I guess you could say, Dan.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we do anything, though, I think we've got to say, come on, Grimsby.
Up the Mariners. What a result,
Up the Mariners. That's what the FA Cup's all about, isn't it, mate?
The old lady's still going. Yeah. No, brilliant result. And seeing Theo Walcott's goal was pulled up with VAR. VAR come good for a change, didn't it? But and it just then it was like celebrating another goal for the fans, wasn't it? With all their headaches.
Brilliant atmosphere.
Headaches. Yep.
We got some posts dotting around with the fans. Brilliant. And they got their fishing, which Southampton originally tried to bar. And fair play to Blackburn and Sheffield United as well.
Yeah.
There will definitely be a non-Premier League club in the semi-finals to the Premier League. Right. Right. Okay. So before we bring our guests on who are waiting patiently in our waiting room, just remember, you can comment, you can ask questions on whichever platform you are watching us on. We'll see all the chats. So just say hello to Ben Higgins there and to Ben Lovell. Hello. And any comments, people, just bang them on. We will see them. But we've got an interesting one, haven't we, Dan?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Really good story. We one of the lads who's coming on put it on our public Facebook group, and great story in here, exactly what we're all about. The story of why they're doing this new club they set up in 2020. So no, it's a perfect match for us, and fantastic story we're going to find all about.
Certainly feeds my negativity to modern football anyway, without a doubt.
You realise you've got some friends.
I've got some friends. Saying that, let's get our friends on. So welcome Dave and Mark. Bring them on. There's Dave. And there's Mark. Hello, gentlemen. How are you keeping?
Good.
I can't hear.
You can't hear?
I've got no sound.
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear, but you're not going to know that, are you? Right, okay. So Dave's having a bit of trouble there hearing us. No joy, mate? Well, he heard us a minute ago, didn't he?
He might have muted his mic, or he's
All right. Well, look. Okay. So we are. Hang on. Let me drop him a note. He can come out and come back in again. And
I'll drop him a note, girl. You crack on, mate. I'll drop him a note in here in the chat.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So we are going to be discussing, a bit of Arsenal and a bit of Dull Square Football Club. Off the back of a quite successful BBC piece that they done on you. Dave's rapidly checking his settings there. So Dull Square Football Club, a product of, is it fair to say, Mark, a disgruntlement at maybe modern day football, or certainly in particular.
Got no sound.
Say again, mate, sorry?
Got no sound.
Who, Mark hasn't?
I've got no sound.
No, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Log out and come back in. Okay. Sorry about this, folks. It was working a minute ago, trust me. But Mark, is it fair to say? Is it fair? Have you dropped him? He's not picking that up, is he? Bless him. Right. Is it fair to say that it's a product of disgruntlement, not only with maybe your club, which is Arsenal, but also modern day football in general, and this is a product of that?
Yeah, totally. I think it can't seem to relate to the modern game anymore. It's almost like it's not the game growing up.
Yeah, no, completely hear you with that one. Absolutely. So, how did it all come about, mate? How did Dole Square kick off?
Well, I first got involved with Dole Square. I've got a mate of mine, Cockney Stew, lived for Dole Square at the beginning of last season. To look at it, and I just thought it seemed like a really good, exciting project to get involved in of their journey. So me and my dad went along last season, game of the season. It was away, I think it was to Farncombe. They met the chairman Stu there, and it was just a real good. It was just proper football, and we kind of just went along to the home game the next week and just every game last season.
So,
Oh, sorry, chap. I can hear you. Sorry about it. I don't know what happened there, but I can hear you now.
That's good. He's back.
Yeah, mate, what a glitch. That's it. Typical Arsenal, isn't it, really? You know what I mean?
The old satellite went out of range.
I don't know what else you can say, really, you know, but there we are. No.
Apologies.
He went all
Okay,
Spursy
so-
then, Dave.
Dave, obviously, as you just heard us talking to Mark, I think so Dole Square Football Club, how long has it been running?
Since it was set up in January 2020, but we've done two. We're just coming at the end of our second full season. The first one was it with COVID and postponed, so we only really started playing the start of last season. That was the start of the first full season.
Right. Okay. So basically, it's a fan-owned club, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. The way it's worked is Stuart Morgan was the one that set it up, and it was imperative it was going to be a fan-owned club. So the way it's got 85% of the club, and it's been set up as the 15% extra is what we call the Dole Square Enterprise. It was a company set up by Stuart. It's a limited company by guarantee, so we don't have shareholders, we have members, which gives us a bit of flexibility on commitment, and it means the shares don't go to the public. So you can have, I don't know, you can have 5 members, you can have 105, you can have 1,005, 2,005. The enterprise owns 15% of the club, and what will happen is, as it goes up the pyramids, then Stuart will relinquish more and more shares into the enterprise until the enterprise owns 100% of Dole Square.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to let Dan come in a minute. So basically, what we'll do then, let's talk more about Dole Square, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Arsenal, because obviously, you know, some of the disgruntlement that has led people like yourselves and the people who are supporting this club to walk away basically from going to their club, which we're seeing more and more often. People are turning their non-league. So the ambition for Dole Square is to move up the pyramid. Yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 plans. The first one is a short-term plan, and that was to hit step 6 in 5 years. We came in at step 9, so what's that? That's tier 13 if you include the Premiership downwards.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was a 10-year plan to get into the football league. The long-term vision is to be a responsible member-owned English league club in its own purpose-built stadium, somewhere as close as we can get it to our spiritual home of Woolwich.
Right. Okay.
So your ambition is to become a league club, yeah?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's the ambition.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing when we look at Dorking Wanderers' story, which is an amazing story of disgruntled Wimbledon fans 23 years ago, have had an amazing rise from playing on a pitch. I guess even a more of a Sunday league pitch. They were playing on, chipping in £5 each.
Council pitch.
Now look at them. They're up in National League, one step away.
Fantastic story.
I was working that out, and I thought, well, if I'm going to come and see you in the National League, I'll be 78. So, you know.
Yeah.
I'll go, girl. Don't worry, I'll be there.
You'll still be younger than me.
I think I worked out 23 years. If you go along the lines of Dorking Wanderers, then yeah, I may come along, but I'll be in my little scooter, you know.
We might have an OAP like concession or something, I would imagine.
That's a massive ambition. That really is a massive ambition, and probably will take a reasonable sum of money to do that.
Yeah, it's dependent on the enterprise. The Dial Square enterprise its sole job is to get members in and encourage ways of raising money and donations and the like. So, and the more members we get, then the more we can generate. That's the point of the enterprise.
Does a member have to pay a fee to become a member? Is that how you get the money into?
Yeah, it's £90.
It sound. Sorry, I think my sound's gone again. Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah. Right, Dan. I couldn't hear that question. Sorry.
No, I just said it. Do you have to? Mark just answered. It's £90 to become a member.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Yeah, so you can play that all in one go, or you can.
I can hear you, Gary.
Literally by direct.
Right, gotcha.
Cool. So I'm going to let Dan ask 3 more questions in a moment. So I guess where we want this to go is the link between Dial Square and Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, and we'll talk about why fans are disgruntled and maybe why, as Arsenal fans, you feel disenfranchised with your club. We'll talk about that. But initially, let's talk about the link here, because Dial Square, as you were saying, the ancestral home of Arsenal Football Club is actually in Woolwich. And Dial Square, tell us a little bit about the name, Dial Square. Give us the history behind it.
It was the ammunition factory in Woolwich. And out the front, it was a marching square outside the front. 2 big pillars and an archway, and you go through that, and there was the big square. On top of the archway was a sundial, and on each pillar there was a pyramid of cannonballs. They make, the armaments factory predominantly made the barrels for the cannons, and it was called Dial Square, and that's where a group of workers met one day and decided to form a football team that went on and that we now call Arsenal.
Fascinating.
Right. Okay. Cool. Do you know what? I've just found a photo that you sent me. I'm going to see if I can get it uploaded or not onto the thing. But anyway, so Dan, I'm going to hand over to yourself, mate. You might have to speak up a bit because you are quiet.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's a bit better, mate.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, what I was going to say, I hope you can hear me, Dave, but where did it all start to go? Where you haven't fell out of love with Arsenal, have you? But you fell out of love with how it's going. But where did that start? Did that start at leaving Highbury? Did that start when the Premier League started? Or was it, what is it just been a build-up of things that's got you to that point of not wanting to go to the ground anymore?
I'm really sorry. Dan, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
It's all right, mate.
Okay, so what Dan was saying was where did the disgruntlement with Arsenal start? Was it when you left Highbury, or what was the beginning for you guys to be so disgruntled with the team that we know you still love? What was the beginning of the end, or as you call it?
I think everyone's got a different story. I don't think one person tells the same story. It all comes under the same umbrella. But it can point at different bits. I can tell you my story personally, but like I say, I don't speak the same story as everyone at Dial. We've all got similar twists or similar personal experiences. Mine started a long time ago when, I speak about going to Highbury as a feeling, and I'm sure most football fans will know this. I know, there'll be groups of fans that know this, especially away fans, that it didn't matter what your social situation was. It didn't matter, what you did for a job. It didn't matter how you were getting on at school. It didn't matter how much money you had in your pocket. At some point on a Saturday, when the games used to be 3 o'clock Saturday, you it'd be a moment in that day. It'd be either when you left your house, it'd be either getting on a train, it'd be meeting your mates, it'd be meeting in the pub, whatever. At some point on a Saturday, whatever your social situation was, that'd go on hold and you'd become the Arsenal or part of your team, whoever that is. And I just feel it's disintegrated. It ain't gone completely. Like I say, there's still pockets of fans that will know what I'm talking about, especially away fans. Yeah. But it sort of started to disintegrate when the seats went in for me. This is my personal story, my personal feeling. When the seats went in, it took away that little bit of magic, and I can remember when, we know why it was. It was legislation. We know why that was. But when the seats went in, I had the mural up. When the mural come down, like most people that used to stand on the North Bank, couldn't wait to get back in. And the first thing I was looking for a few faces that we used to know, and there were a few, but not as many. And you sat down, you was in nice, neat rows, and you were told to sit down, and it just felt like I was doing an exam at school. It just lost that little spark, that bit of magic, that sense of community, And then we moved to the Emirates, and that wasn't for legislation. That was for other reasons that have been well documented. And there was a big red flag for me from the start when, we moved to the Emirates because Highbury was too small, they could fill it 2-3 times over. And I understand, like they gave away a load of free tickets to local businesses and local people to sweeten the deal. And I'm thinking, if you're doing that, you would have sold the ground out easily. Why are we giving away free tickets? To businesses, arguably, if you're local, you would have had a ticket anyway, or you would have had some sort of means of access to Arsenal anyway. I went to the games. I didn't go to the first game at the Emirates. It was a Champions League game. I think it was against Porto. And the big thing they were telling us about the Emirates was carrying the traditions over. We're going to carry the traditions of Highbury over. And I can remember getting a ticket, and I missed a big trick from the very beginning. And it was another red flag. Anyone who knows Highbury would know the North Bank and the clock ends. When I bought the ticket, you could buy East Stand, West Stand, South Stand, North Stand. I didn't call it the North Bank or the clock end. Now, personally, I can't call that the North Bank of the Emirates. It's the North Bank in the Emirates. It's the North End of the Emirates for me, because it was the feeling. It was the sense of being together. But on talking to other supporters and that were in there, and not just at that game, but other games, and again, I have to apologise because I know there's a lot of good guys and girls down there and people that bleed red with white sleeves. But a lot of people there, I found, they started to see their ticket as a status symbol rather than something that was in the blood. And it was even quieter when the seats went in Highbury to start with. And but Arsenal's my team. I kept going. I obviously wanted to see your team, as every football fan does. It ain't a light switch you can turn on and off. It's in there. And the last straw for me was it was picked up in that BBC piece, but didn't give the figure that I quoted for obvious reasons. I had 2 red memberships at the time. You had the season ticket holders. Any tickets were given priority as silver members, and then you had red members at the end of that. I used to go on my own, so I never needed a season ticket or anything more than a red membership. But a red membership's £36 a season, and they say you get a mouse mat and a nice signed photo of somebody in the reserves and whatever. No one buys the membership for that. You buy it to get access to tickets, and this ain't just Arsenal. This is across the elite game now. So I've got me red. I actually had 2 red memberships. One for me, one for my nephew, who was just a nipper. And I thought, if it, with the waiting list, as he gets older, if he wants to take it over, he's more than welcome. As it is, he's moved down to Fratton. It looks like he's going to jump ship with his mates to Pommy, and if he does, good luck to him. But I had 2 red memberships, and my missus at the time, her boy said to me, Dave, can I come with you? And I said, look, you know, if you behave yourself, ask your mum, you know, don't sauce me in her back, do well at school, keep your room tidy. If she says it's all right, you can come along. Anyway, he acts like an angel. It was a game against Newcastle. I can remember it was 2010, and I couldn't get a ticket. Sold out. I was checking every half hour on the internet. I was on the ticket exchange, like every hour. That's the fans that can't make it put their tickets on the ticket exchange. Couldn't get a ticket. Sold out. And this was right up to the morning of the game. I think it was a 4 o'clock kickoff. I was still checking. Anyway, I had to let him down. I felt really bad because for the first time in his life, he'd actually behaved himself. So I knew he really wanted to come. And I took him a couple of weeks later. I think I got him a ticket. We went to see him play Fulham. But when I went on my own and I got into the ground and I sat, I was, you know, about quarter of an hour before kickoff. And I'm not exaggerating. It was 20 or 30 empty seats all around me. And, you know, I said, there was a bloke a few seats over. And I said, you know, what's going on? Did you have trouble getting a ticket? And he said, you'll see what happens in a minute. With that, you know, again, I'm not exaggerating. It was a good 15, 20 minutes into the kickoff. All these business suits came down with emails. Now, at Arsenal, you got the membership cards. I know it's the same as a lot of places now. And you know, you buy your ticket online, it livens up, and you put it through the turnstile as you go in. But these had emails, so they've been sent them through the internet, and they were talking to each other all the way through the game. They clearly weren't fans. You know, World War III could have kicked off on the pitch. They wouldn't have noticed. And I'm not exaggerating. They all left a good 15 to 20 minutes before the end of the game. And I went home and I thought, this ain't right. You know, the boy could have been there. You know, I'm sure there was loads of other fans that missed out. So I had a little look up. Now, bear in mind, the red membership costs you £36 for the season. They guaranteed at the time, that season, they guaranteed 5,000 tickets per red member per home game. So 19 home games, that's 95,000 tickets available for the season. At that time, they had over 600,000 red members. So if you do some basic maths, that means over 500,000 Arsenal fans will pay a total of 18 million quid with absolutely no chance of seeing a league game. And I went, that's it, I'm out. You know, that ain't the Arsenal that I fell in love with.
That's criminal, isn't it? That's false advertising.
Into this, yeah. So basically, how many people got red card memberships?
At that time, it was over 600,000.
Oh my word! And then there's a premium. By the way, I did a bit of digging into your neighbours in North London, and they're dearer than you. By the way, they're dearer than you. They're you'd say they're £36, or was that at the time?
At the time, it was £36 for the season. I didn't even know what the silvers were. I know the silvers at the moment are about 54. I think.
So Tottenham currently are £43 for an adult for their basic membership, and I think it's £20 for a child. Then it goes up into a plus membership plus, which goes up then anything from £48 upwards. So they're actually
it's a joke, isn't it?
And ditched it to join the Dole. All right, Ben, we'll touch on that in a minute, mate. Great to have you on board, mate. So clearly 600,000. You've got absolutely no chance. You're quite right, and you've got 95,000 tickets throughout the season. I think this is the problem, isn't it? You know, fans are not being treated correctly. That's a great example of how fans are being fleeced for money.
If they said to me, like, when you book it, Mr. Nathan, you're, there's going to be 95,000, there's 110,000, there's a chance you ain't going to get it. Or if they said, there ain't going to be no tickets this week, we're giving it to underprivileged kids in the area fair dues. You know, that for me is the Arsenal, what I call the Arsenal way. You know, something done properly, something done with a bit of class. But this has changed. It's, you know, the word sport's gone. You know, it's just a multi-million-pound business now, and the fans are on the sharp end of it.
It's a brand, isn't it? It's a brand now, isn't it,
so
Arsenal?
of the 600,000, 505,000 fans are not going to be able to get a ticket for love nor money. And
that's bear in mind if everyone else just goes to one game each.
Yeah. And so whatever way you look at it, 505,000 fans are going to miss out. Yet the club know that, and yet they'll charge them £36 each, a total of £18 million a year coming into the club. And okay. So let's not be.
Gail, that's without them tickets, the spare tickets, then going to the corporate people, is it? Like Dave was saying, they're coming up with emails, so they're selling them on elsewhere.
And I'm guessing this is probably not just an exclusive problem with Arsenal. I'm guessing this could be happening at a lot of the elite clubs. I don't know. If anyone's listening and have experienced issues of this nature at their club, please jump in and let me know. So Ben's saying there, who is a yid, by the way. Am I not allowed to say that anymore, are you? We are seen as fans now. And this is a comment that I've heard a little while ago, and I think it's a brilliant comment. You're no longer fans, you're customers.
Yeah, definitely. See, I've done your membership number with a wallet.
Yeah. Can I just switch to Mark, though? Mark, similar reasons behind your disgruntlement, or is there a slightly short version would be good, though?
Okay.
Sorry,
from the age of
I'm just running out of time.
Sorry, mate. You should have cut me off.
No.
I'll get the sign stick off Mark at the football.
Yeah,
I should have learned.
It's lovely to hear your passion, Dave. Don't worry about it, mate. Keep going.
Could you hear him then, though? Sorry, Mark. Go on, mate. So
I used to go to the home games between the age of turn up in the day, pay £3, go and stand on the North Bank. Great atmosphere all there. It was great then. I had kids, moved down to Portsmouth in 15 years, went to a couple of games at the Emirates, and it was just like going to the theatre. There was just people there 4 days out. But you know what? I'd rather just watch the games on telly. It
isn't isolated to Arsenal, though, is it? You know, this
I think it's
more all round.
Yeah, obviously I support Palace, and we're not as big as Arsenal, obviously, and we don't get the tourists that Arsenal get. But
let's
even at
face
Palace,
it, your ground's a dump and all, mate. So I like your ground.
It is an old school ground, isn't it? The atmosphere is good as well, but there's still. I know the lot I used to go with. I haven't had a season ticket for years, mainly because of my job. But I haven't been this year once, and I don't miss it. I think it's what Dave said. It was just the all-seater. Then it was like just different things coming in. But Palace were having our best successful time ever in the Premier League, although we're just mid-table mediocrity, going, nothing's going to happen, never going to win anything, but it's still our best time. But I know so many fans, mates who don't go no more. And COVID was another big point where they obviously couldn't go. And then after COVID, they realised, I don't actually miss this anymore. I've got
no sound.
He can't hear. You can hear me, though, can't you?
I can hear you. I can't hear Dan. I can't hear Mark. Really? I can hear you, though, Gareth. Yeah. I apologise for that. I don't know what's.
That's all right. I'll talk a load of bollocks anyway.
You'll have to hold up cards, Mark.
Dan said he talks a load of bollocks anyway.
Not your fingers like you normally do.
Right. Okay, look. So I want to dig in a little bit more, but to Dole Square. But let me just quickly. I did manage to flick that picture over that you were talking about. Reference. So this is the original home of Arsenal, really. Then.
That's it. That's the square. That's Dial Arch. In the background, you got the ammunitions factory, and that's the square where I dare say a bit of recreation went on, and a lot of marching. And they met in that square, and decided to form the team that then became the Arsenal.
And one day, someone might be doing a podcast in 100 years' time, and they'll be putting pictures up of us going, "This is how it all started."
Yeah.
Could it be?
Okay, brush out my double chin.
Listen, guys, I mean, I know you're new, but talk about want to pull the fans in. I got to put this up. Wow, free beer. Get
That's
in.
it.
I'm on my way. Oh dear. So yeah, what's that about free beer then? Out of interest, that weren't like free bar, was it?
They weren't someone paid for it. It weren't free. But what one of our values is fans come first, and that was an idea we come up with. If you come down on that game, we've done it twice, haven't we, Mark? You know, you get a voucher when you go in, go to the bar, get a free drink. Something, you know, the fans come first.
I've got a feeling the Emirates might be empty at the next game. So you're not actually based in North London. Everything about your club does relate to Arsenal. You're based near Chertsey, was it? Or
yeah, I mean, we play at Chertsey. We played at Addleston. We started playing at Addleston, which is not far from where Stuart lives. And then we had the Selly influence. You know, we had Ian Selly as our honorary president. Played a couple of games for us, and all playing. He's still ping a ball. And he was manager of Chertsey, of course, last year. Nearly got him promoted. And I'm sure he had a little word with the chairman and Stuart and yeah, we're ground sharing him. Is it another? I think it's another 2 years, isn't it, Mark? After this season,
I think so,
it's another 2 seasons.
So if you fancy a free pint, folks, there you go. Look, there you go. Owens Lane. Sure, there's a postcode for you. Free beer.
I can hear Stuart wobbling.
Yeah.
I can hear Stuart wobbling right all the way here. It ain't every game.
I mean, looking at this.
But yeah,
so the DSFC enterprise is the main fan bit, and I noticed on this sign that you've kindly sent a picture over at the bottom there. It says "Become a fan owner." So how do you do that then?
If you go look up the Dial Square Enterprise on the internet, and the application forms on there, and it's £90 for the season, and for that you get full voting rights in anything we decide to do. Everyone's vote is equal. You're encouraged to come up with things that you want to talk about or perhaps a vote on. You know, the last thing we voted on was our sponsorship deal for this shirt comes to an end, so we're getting new shirts. So we had a vote on what colour shirts people would like to see our players in next year. So it's a burgundy one, isn't it, for the home one? And there's only one colour for the away. There's only one colour. We voted on that, and you're encouraged to be a part of the club. It's a sense of sense of togetherness. It's a sense that you actually matter, which I think is missing from the elite game.
Do you have to be an Arsenal fan to become a member as well?
I'm going to translate Dan for you. Yeah. So Dan said, do you have to be an Arsenal fan to become a member?
No. It's, I mean, the majority obviously is Arsenal, but we've got a few extras in there, and of course, you know, we'd be naive playing in Chertsey if we think we're only going to get Arsenal fans. We've got a lot of Chertsey, got a lot of locals that come down. It's a majority, but it's not an exclusive. You know, we don't interview you, and you know, as long as
no Spurs allowed, though, obviously.
He said, hang on,
I think I know what's coming.
Yeah, he said no Spurs allowed. He takes it.
Well, this question came up before. We've actually had a Spurs fan playing for us. You know, he ain't, and if he don't behave himself, we'll let everybody know. And the thing is, the question we'd ask was, you know, if there's that rivalry and you feel that strongly, what's the draw in playing as a Tottenham fan? What's the draw in playing for a team that's predominantly Arsenal?
Well, that answer.
That's the thing. It's got to be some really strong feeling that you're disenchanted with the elite game to come and play for a team that's predominantly one of your rivals. And I think if that ever happens, that will show how deep it's going.
That answers one of the questions I was going to ask. Is are all your players Arsenal supporters, or have you got a mixture? And my next question to you is, if you're going to make your way up that pyramid, like your ambition is to do so, are you not going to have to eventually have some distance between you and Arsenal Football Club?
Yeah, of course. It's as it grows, obviously the ties will get a little bit less. We're seen as almost rivals, perhaps. At the moment, it's very important to understand we're not anti-Arsenal at all. Completely the opposite.
I don't mean it in that manner that you'd become anti-Arsenal. What I'm meaning is simply, obviously, for a club to grow up through the pyramid and in its own right become Dial Square Football Club, not a disenfranchised group of chaps from Arsenal. You'd have to become your own independent. So somewhere along the line,
get up more,
because obviously it's a real heavy Arsenal influence, but maybe over time that will have to dilute a little bit. I'm not saying go away, because there'll always be your roots of where and how it started, but at some point it may have to dilute a little bit to appeal to the wider audience, Of
course it will. And the fact that we're going into, hopefully, if we do get into Woolwich, we're going into southeast London. We're not going into North London.
Yeah.
You'll have the demographics there. So yeah, I think if we went into this thinking, it's going to be Arsenal all the way through, I think that's a bit naive to think that, because as it grows, we're gonna attract people. Yeah. We've already had requests from other people
as well.
Yeah. I was going to say that, but that deep south. But yeah, and as far as the players go, our captain last year was a Newcastle fan. Ed this year's a Rangers fan.
Alfie,
I've got to mention that Don, who was our striker and goal scorer last season. He's a big Arsenal fan. He goes home and away. Obviously, last year if the games clashed, but this season he might, he ain't played many games and he's been up to Arsenal and those match going fans. I bet there's a few that know him in there. So it's like I said, we don't interview people saying are you Arsenal? No, sorry, there's the door.
Oh no!
It's bigger than that. It's the elite game that's got the poison, and hopefully we can do something about it.
So look, I'm going to just pop up a few things. Let's first of all just drop up a couple of these flags you've got, which say a story. So keep greed out of football. Well, you've got me on board with that. Trust me. Completely. And this one. Now, I've seen this as well. Where did Middlesbrough? Didn't Middlesbrough do a big one?
Yeah, there's been a few. I've got to mention the flags. Because I know he's listening. James Hodgson and come up with the design for that one. I know he's listening. Hello, James, mate. Get back to work. He come up with a design for that one. But yeah, that is, again, that's not an Arsenal message. That is a elite game message. It's general.
Get it from Palace as well, girl. I know they get a bit of stick, the Homes there for the X, but they're the same. Their ethos is about the greed and it gets taken out of the game.
Hello, sorry, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, it is quiet, but
take me off and put me back on.
It happens at Palace as well. That's all. Well, that was a brief translation, by the way.
Girl, take me off and put me back on, mate. That might work.
I don't. Well, no, because if I can hear you, Mark, can you hear Dan?
Yeah, I can hear Dan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it'd be.
I can't hear Mark.
Oh wow! Right. Okay.
So take me and Mark off and put us back on again. Go on, try that.
What? So you two are working fine.
Yeah.
You want to start? No, I won't get you back on. Right. Look, I'm going to put a video up, folks.
Oh, go on.
Now, this video, I think it just shows you. Now, one of the things that hit me in our live show we did on Sunday, we were talking to Greg Lake, who one of the co-owners at Billericay Town, who's just really probably thrown his lot behind the ladies' team there, and we were touching on the women's game, and we got a little story out of him about one of the England Lionesses who had been offered by West Ham. We ain't going to go into names or anything, but I think £150,000 to go a year, by the way, to go and play for them, and she turned it down and went to Chelsea for 300,000 and sat on the bench. I don't think she's at Chelsea anymore, but anyway, that hit home for me a little bit because, you know, I think one of the problems in our game is where money has now taken over. Yes, the fans are now customers. We're not fans anymore in the elite game. I wouldn't like to tar all clubs in lower league and non-league with that brush, but certainly in the elite game. And I think players now, you know, if we go back in the day, if a player weren't getting a first team run game every, you know, and on the bench all the time, very rarely getting a game, he'd soon be put in a transfer. He wants to play football. That's what he wants to do. Yes, he wants to get paid for it, but he wants to play the game. It's, as you've heard players moan for decades now, well, we get paid well because it's a short career. Right, okay. Every career is short. You never know how long you got a career for, so don't wash with me with players. But anyway, the point being, in my club, I'll be honest with you, you go and watch them, and, you know, after the season, they'll come out on the football pitch. They don't give two shits about playing football for our club. They lackluster. They're on all that money and they're lackluster. And that players these days are quite happy to earn money, sit on the bench and not play football. You know, now, the reason I'm saying all that is I just want to show what it meant to your players. You'll have to tell me what game, whether this was Saturday's game, and I know you're pushing for promotion, but this is what it meant to these players.
Yeah! There he is, big number 6 looking! Yeah! Yes! Get in there! Come on, boy! Ted, you got any words for the camera? Come on! Get in!
All right, okay. But, you know, so, you know, you can see the camaraderie there and that. And I'm not tarring every club with the same brush when I talk about their players, but a lot of clubs these days, their players...
All three of you. I can't hear.
All right.
All three of you.
So, okay.
I think you might need to wiggle his lead because it's clicking a bit and all, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. This is difficult, isn't it? So, Mark.
Gail, one thing I was going to say, though, Gail, is I'm sure I've read it on the Dial Square website or on their sort of method statement. It says about like football without fans is nothing, but they say that's not the case. And it was proven, wasn't it, in the COVID. Football still lived. They still made their money from the TV rights, didn't they? They don't actually need fans.
Yeah.
They don't need the fans, do they, to go through.
Don't need anyone.
No, in actual fact, they made a lot of money out of the fans paying £10 a game to watch it on the telly.
Yeah.
Nearly every club was doing that. You know, everyone could watch a game of football, you know, during lockdown. And I forget the name of in the EFL, it's what's that called where they televise everything?
I follow.
That's it. And that's £10 a game. And the subscriptions to that must have shot through the roof, you know.
But that was like a test run for them to realise that they don't actually need fans to come relegate. They can charge what they want. I know some fans will still go. Don't matter how expensive it is, they'll find the money. But
they will.
People like Dave and Mark and myself and a few, loads of people from all clubs have just had enough. But now you get a new type of fan who are going and will go and pay. You get the tourists coming. They will. There is a split with fans, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. It's like more like it's like a day out for some.
Of course it is, yeah. What's that? There's a new lot at Arsenal, isn't there? The what are they called? The Ashburton Terrace, Ashburton Grove,
Ashburton Army, I think.
Yeah, they're like, I think they've sort of done the old Palace, like the Ultras thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of them, but they do get the atmosphere going. But
we've got the greatest league in the world. We introduced football to the world. Why are we now following the Europeans?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Crazy.
Why do we, jump? He can't hear. We know. What's he say?
It's back to front.
I can't hear.
I can't hear nothing
up the dial.
Up the dial. Come out and come in.
Yeah.
Come out and come in. Right.
Hold up.
Hang on, this is brilliant, isn't it? Folks, if you're watching,
Yeah.
Let's get the pads out. Oh dear, jump off. There is a chat room on here, but I don't think I've tried putting it on there. And come back on and on. I'll say jump up and down. See if you jump up and down. Oh,
You might do.
He got that?
No.
He got that.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, this is for the younger generation that might be watching this tonight. This is sort of we're used to this sort of technology.
Can you send him some smoke signals, girl?
I'll tell you what, we should have got the cups with a bit of string on.
Yeah, they might have worked a bit better for him.
Oh, look, we'll wait for Dave to come back on. I've got some more sort of questions to put to you. It will be interesting to follow the progress of the club, without a doubt. See how it all goes.
What league are you going up into, Mark? Do you know which league you'll be promoted into?
Because this season there was supposed to be one league of something like 20 teams. They decided to split them down into two leagues of 10.
Right. Yeah.
We've had a team pull out already half towards the end of this season. We had about 4 or 5 weeks ago where we all turned up at Chertsey and they'd cancelled literally.
What, just then? Yeah.
Yeah, so at 12 o'clock, couldn't get a team together to actually play a football match.
Oh, bloody hell.
I'm giggling away. I'm really sorry. Why did they pull out? Because of financial situations? Because that's another thing that we hear a lot about.
Well, they said they didn't have enough players, but I had a look at players for their team, but they couldn't basically get 15 people.
Yeah.
I've lost my pen, Gary. I can hear you. Sorry, mate. I can't hear Mark. I've even lost my pen. I can't write.
It's behind your ear, Dave.
Oh, mate, I can hear you. I will translate everything. Okay.
Stop being back at work.
Mark was just telling us about what league you would be going up into, which likely is to happen. Yeah.
They run promotion.
Yeah, that'll be the natural step. I think will be the Surrey Intermediate Western Premier, which will be step 7. But the non-league, it changes. Seems to change every year. We know why. It makes it more localised and stops. Some teams having massive, travelling journeys and things like that. But
I'll warn you now. That's quite the opposite, mate. They will shaft you. Your local FAs are like the main FA. They're not fit for purpose, mate.
Tell Dave about Chesterton.
We do have a bit of a problem with them. But
listen, you're going to come up against the league saying to you, "Oh, we're going to move you into this league," which is going to mean you might have to travel 300 miles to the next game. Seriously, Chesterton happened at Chesterton. Yeah, right. Chesterton got put into a Kent league, right? And they ended up having to have nearly 80 players over the course of a season because players are not prepared to do that level of travelling. Now, Colton Town, who are in the Northern Premier, were in the Northern Premier Midlands League, they just missed out on the playoffs. They're a good little run club in Nottingham. And their league went, no, we're going to move you into the Northwest, Newcastle, right? And they appealed. They appealed. They got laurels on it. They did everything right and got ignored, got thrown out. Their travelling costs have risen by £11,000 this year. And obviously not all the players can make these journeys. They've had games where they're having to go to Newcastle area midweek. So they're having
crazy.
they're having to fund the players and everything else. So I hope everyone listening hears this, because, you know, again, you know, we know our normal FA ain't fit for purpose, but please trust me when I tell you now, a lot of these, here you go. So James Hodgson just said the Surrey FA are arseholes. Shouldn't have said that maybe, but hey ho. Looking good, lad. Over here in Egypt. Wow, someone over in Egypt watching. Is that someone you're familiar with, Michael Draper?
Yeah.
Michael Draper, yeah, he's a Dial Square, he's a fan owner. He's on his holidays, getting a bit of sun.
Going on, even at tier 8, you've now got Middle Eastern involvement.
Exactly. What we've got, we got a Scandinavian fan club. We had an American fan club, didn't we? And I think we got whispers of a German fan club starting as well.
Ben Lovell's living in Germany and he's a member. So
he's the man. Ben's setting the German fan club up.
You get honestly, yeah. Plus, Arsenal deserve the title this season. That's yes, all right. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I think, in fairness, they do. They've done really, really well and had a great result last night. Up the Mariners,
fantastic.
Though, you got to give Grimsby. Keep shouting Grimsby. That's what the FA Cup's all about. But yeah, no, and as Arsenal fans, you've got to be happy with what you're seeing at the club at the minute, haven't you?
Definitely. I mean, that was another thing that the fan base seemed to be split, you know, a few years ago. And everything seems to be coming together on and off the pitch this season. And, you know, if we do stay up there, you know, I would absolutely love it. One, for the team, and secondly, for Arteta. I think he's such a good manager, quality. He knows what he's doing. He's got that bit of Arsenal way about him. And, you know, who knows this thing can do. I think the natural progression from last season was to do the Europa. I think that's done them a world of good, rather than that big jump into the Champions League for a young side. And yeah, long may it continue. You know, I'll be absolutely overjoyed with every other one. You know, every other Arsenal fan and anyone connected if we can stay up there.
It's only in this country that we dish that Europa League. The rest of Europe treat that as a very high-profile competition.
They'll take it seriously. Don't they?
I meant it from like a competition standing, because I think with the team we had, being a young side, if we'd have drawn one of the top boys early in the season and got mullered, you know, if we'd have gone to Juventus or someone like that, and you know, it could have affected the whole season.
Yeah, but you're saying that, and that's who you've got in that league, in the Europa League. Barcelona just knocked out by Man United. Juventus are in there and all, aren't they? Juventus.
Yeah, now we had, but we've had how many months behind us now to build up a bit of a rhythm, bit of confidence. You know, we ain't scared of no one. But you know, perhaps earlier on in the season, if we'd have faced them, it might have been a different story.
Dan, what was you saying, mate?
I was just going to ask what the boys' view on Arsenal TV is.
Okay, so question. I'll relay that on to Dave.
Yeah, sorry.
What's your view on Arsenal TV?
Can I swear? I'm going to be. I'll give you an example, right? I'm trying not to swear. I've had to bite my tongue there. I've spoken about the Arsenal way. You know, Arsenal was. My granddad used to say to me, he used to bang it into me. You know, do it the Arsenal way. Do it the Arsenal way. He was ex-military as well. So to me, the Arsenal way was you do things properly. You do it right first time. You do it with pride. You do it with humility. You do it properly. And for me, these boys, you know, again, this is me, my opinion. I think they're wankers. It's like sitting. Apologies for the language, but it's like sitting in a room.
Oh shit!
It's like sitting in a room, listening to a load of people slagging misses off. You know, I'll give you a good example. Right, this happened about 3 or 4 days ago. I'm at work, and I'm not having an argument, but I'm having a heated discussion. Let's call it, with a bloke at work, and he's talking about AFTV, and I've given my views, and he's gone, you know, you're unfair. They're a great team. They're a great platform. You know, I think you should give them some respect. And then I said, yeah, but you're missing the main bloody point. You're a Spurs fan. I said, exactly. It's the opposition fans. When Arsenal got beat or drew, I work with 500 other people.
Mate, it's
And I work.
brilliant TV. It's the funniest. It's brilliant TV when you win and when you lose. It's the funniest thing I ever see. It's embarrassing for Arsenal, but
It is.
As non-Arsenal, it's great because it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And
Brilliant for everyone else.
on there, mate. It just, you know what I mean? It's like, come on. You wouldn't
But
want
yeah,
that
it's-
at your club, but it's at your club, so we can laugh at your club. You know what I mean? We're all
It's
right.
like one of those things, isn't it? If it's on your side, then it's great. But no, it ain't for me. It ain't what it's not the. They don't represent the Arsenal. And I would picture as an Arsenal fan, you know, and you know, let's not be naive. They make some big money out of doing that, you know. Right, they've made big money, but
Massive money, yeah.
but you know, basically, you make something into a laughing stock.
A lot of their money's come from the gambling sites. If there are any gambling sites watching, hey, we've got quite a good following now, especially.
Yeah.
and we want to improve. So you know, don't be scared to have a word with us if you're watching from one of them companies.
Maybe Ivan Tony can spend us a few quid.
We want to get a bit of money behind us and move on. Proper football, right? We are running out of time. So, gentlemen, what sort of mixed reaction are you getting from fellow Arsenal supporters? Because I can imagine it's mixed.
And I had a couple of conversations with people before, and they'd be like, "How can you support Arsenal and Dial Square?" Like my local football club down in Portsmouth, non-league, is Haventon Waterlooville. If I went to Haventon Waterlooville every week, wouldn't bat an eyelid at all because it's Dial. You can't support Arsenal and Dial Square, but people have favourite foreign teams, don't they? They might support Man United
their non-league
and
clubs. I think your problem is purely because of the relationship that you've got with Dial Square and Arsenal, and that's why you're probably getting a segment of the Arsenal support just won't get that around their heads.
Yeah, it is turning though, isn't it, Mark? Because I think last season, because it was
a lot of guys down.
It was seen as a TV sort of thing, and an anti-Arsenal thing, and it's totally the opposite. It ain't anti-Arsenal at all. We all love Arsenal.
Yeah.
And this season, especially with that BBC post, the feedback we got from that, especially from what I call the old school, it just, you know, and not just from Arsenal fans, but from other, you know, we've had feedback from Liverpool, from United, that feel the same. You know, so it is starting to turn once people realise that we're not this anti-Arsenal, you know, outfit that's here to, you know, it was always set up as an as well as, not an instead of.
Everyone,
you know, it's like I said before, you can't flick a light switch and turn a club in and out of your life. It's part of you.
What is
and that will never leave any of us. Arsenal will never leave any of us.
Sorry, Dan, what was you saying?
No, I was to say this. What Dave just said, it resonates with most fans of our age, or even, it don't matter what age you are, but more the old school. That you're not anti-Arsenal. I'm not anti-Palace. I love Palace to bits. I'll still go and support them. That gets me down if they lose. I've still got all that in me. But I'm anti-modern day football and the greed that comes with it. And that's where we were all the same. So, yeah, as long as Arsenal fans realise you're not attacking Arsenal, which you ain't, and you've made it quite clear, I think you'll grow and grow. You'll get a lot of support. You'll get loads of support. I think it's great.
And you're not the only club that are fan-owned now as well. There are a number. I think Hereford is one that's now fan-owned. I think you've done a piece on that, haven't you, Dan?
Yeah, there's a list of all the fan-owned clubs on the website on that piece. There's about...
That's our website, everybody. Look at that. Running
clubs.
on the bottom there. Come on. Remember the gambling companies. Remember that website address, yeah? Come on. Arsenal TV got nothing on us. www.properfootball.co.uk. It is a brand new website, by the way, for people who are only just finding out about us. It is a brand new website. We also, every Sunday, 6 o'clock, we have what we call the Proper Football Live Show. And the topics of conversation are pretty much similar to what we've had today about football. We talk. We have funny moments. We have goals we show from non-league and grassroots football. It's Nigel Callaghan, the ex-Watford, who Watford Villa derby, and he won the World Cup with England under-21s. He's a permanent fixture on the show with us. And this week, I think we got Steve Sherwood on, ex-Watford goalkeeper. And did he play for Grimsby? I think he did, you know. If he did, that would be great. That would be great. Anyway, we had Tony Coton on previous week, and we're trying to get more and more players on as well as fans. So it is to discuss the topics of the week as well as any other issues you want to talk about. But we have a bit of fun on there, and we have a laugh, and we all are. Well, that's why we call ourselves Proper Football, and none of us are overly fond of the modern era that we're heading into. But how long can that last, gentlemen? That's a big question. But you know what? That's a question you'll have to come on our show and talk about on a Sunday.
No worries.
Can you hear me, Dave? He can't hear me. Right, okay.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we're going to wrap it. I
can hear you, Gary. I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Mark. I can't hear you, Dan. I can hear you, Gary.
Listen, I'm going to go round the table.
I'm not sure what's...
We'll start with Dan. Dan, last words from you, mate.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant story. And I'll definitely get that. I don't think they've got any more home games this season, have you? The 2 away games, your last 2 games, are they, Mark?
Their last 2 away games, yeah.
So I'll definitely come. I'll drive on my trains around that area through Chertsey and... but although I live in South East London, but I'll definitely come over for a game next season, 100%. And we do the old Proper Football Away Day vlog down there. So definitely be paying a visit.
Get you free bit.
Julie Ledburn, Julie Ledburn's just put on there. It's been brilliant. Listen, guys, you need to get down to the club and see the boys play. Obviously, not this season. We won't be able to. Brilliant family atmosphere. Defo recommended. So great. And yeah, if you love your Proper Football, remember, check out our website. Check out all our platforms. Oh, you got to push it, mate. You got to push it. Come on, you know. Bet free. Come on, whatever you are. No, I'm joking. Dave, last word from you, please. You ain't going to get it, are we? Can you write it on your pad, mate? Oh, mate. Listen, everyone, we're really sorry. We may have to try and tighten up these audios so that we can. We'll have these guys on Sunday anyway. One of our Sunday shows, and
that's it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Can you see that, Dave?
Mark,
word from you.
Yeah. On a Saturday, the game.
It's just light. I'll just say light.
Live on Twitter.
Say it again, mate. Sorry.
Dial Square Live, the live streams of our games every week.
And they're on.
Oh, dear. All right.
And what's the? Well, look, send us that information over, and we.
Yeah, no worries.
We'll promote that on our platform for you. You know, the word for me then, folks, is look. You know, all right, we've had a few technical issues there with Dave, and I suppose in some ways it's quite handy actually that he can't hear us at the moment. But we can get the show wraps up a bit quicker. But listen, folks, here's the point. This club has been formed because of a disenfragmented opinion about where football's going. It's something that we football share on a regular basis.
Might just show a bit shorter.
And you know, is this the way forward? Can football sustain itself with the wage structures that you're seeing? You know, the crazy money that is in the top end of this sport, and the way the fans have become customers. Football, you know, back from when I fell in love with football, as to all you guys, football was not a business as such. Of course, they had to make money, but you were part of that. You were part of the fan setup. You know, it was your community club, and I think one of the things that gets lost on too regular a basis, especially with the lower league clubs, the Southend have just saved their day, I think, and they paid up the £1.4 million, which would have been a month's player to an elite, a month's money to an elite player, and that nearly put a club under. You know, where they get 6,000-7,000 fans in that town. You know, Bury, Macclesfield, all these clubs, Rushden and Diamonds. So, you know, it rips the heart. Rushden and Diamonds are local to me. It rips the heart out of communities because football clubs in their communities are more than a business. And I'm afraid at the top end, they forget it. One last thing, I'm going to slate TalkSport to you all. I listened to TalkSport 2 days ago, and it wasn't Hawksby and Jacobs, it was the other fellas replacing them for a week or whatever. They had come up with some idea that people could ring in and at lower league and non-league clubs, what great players did you see come visit your club play? Then they moved it on to, what great activities do you have at your club? They ended up saying at your Tin Pot club, and they said that double figures. So what players have you had playing at your Tin Pot club? Referring to low league, non-league football. That's TalkSport. That is the modern day pundit that we are facing with.
Shit.
That's the attitude that we get from elite football. And guys, I wish you all the very, very best. I know you guys are watching. Thousands of fans agree with what you're doing. And like I say, it's heartbreaking to us that fell in love with a game that is being taken away. So we should make sure that we do whatever we can to retain an element of that. And if that means non-league football, then it's non-league football for me. So with that, I have a rant, don't I, Dan? That's me, isn't it?
No, first I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah. That's what you get on a Sunday anyway. We have a laugh.
Yeah, that's it.
Join us on a Sunday, though, for a bit of a giggle. But we do say it as it is, you know. So Dole Square, keep going, guys. Good luck with what you're doing.
Yeah, no, all the best, boys. It's been
cheers,
brilliant.
thanks.
Brilliant.
All right. Everyone, thank you for watching. Again, like I say, check out our website, which is bobbling along the bottom there. We're on all platforms of media. And like I say, if you like what you see, join us on a Sunday at 6 o'clock as well. And look out for some more of the under the floodlight. Because Dan couldn't get 2 floodlights on the poster, so it's under the floodlight.
Cutback.
Up the dial, just says so just saying hello here. Michael Draper, Matthew Downs, James Hodgson, Ben Lovell, Scott McCullum. There's so many people on here. James Hodgson, I think I've already said that. Thank you for your interaction. Obviously, many people that support you guys have come on the show and listen. Good luck. I can talk for England as well, mate. Trust me. And as you're beginning to realise, I'm going to shut up because I'll talk all night about football and how it's turned into a rotten apple in certain areas.
Can Dave hear us now, girl? Can he?
Sorry?
Can Dave hear you now?
I don't know. Dave, can you hear me? No, obviously not.
No idea.
We will endeavour to have people from Dole Square join us. Maybe even some of your other guys, Stuart and that, might fancy coming on our football show because that is general chit chat about different subjects. Maybe they'd like to come and join us one day on a Sunday. You know, we like to get different aspects of football on there. So thank you everyone for watching. Sorry about the technical issues. And Dan, are you on Sunday with me or?
I'm not sure yet, mate. I'll have to let you know.
You're gonna leave me in the lurch again, are you? I know we've got Steve Sherwood on, haven't we? Yeah, we've got Steve Sherwood on.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, that's it from us. Thank you very much. Really appreciate. Let everyone know about proper football, and we'll let everyone know about Dole Square Football Club. Come on the dial.